Now I'd like to talk about how to texture a human character, kind of demonstrating a few more techniques inside of Blender. And to do that, I'm going to go to the Texture Paint tab, and I can see that, yes, I have this character. He's got a baked normal map, we can see there, and if I was in this one, he would look all purple like this. And if I have this one, I can kind of see the result of it. Over here, I can see the map. And if I pull this down, so I can have a bottom section here that I can set to the shader editor, I can kind of see what's already happening here. So I can see that the normal map is plugged in to the shader, and that's what's giving the illusion of this depth. Okay. To color this guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up here to the active tool and workspace settings, and I can see that I already have a normal map on him. I'm going to go ahead and click on this and click on base color. I'm going to set this to 4096 by 4096. And I want the color to be whatever the main skin tone is that I want. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'll go ahead and click OK. And now I can see it here. If I wanted to see it isolated, I can see it right there. If I want to see it with the normal map, I can see it here. And if I wanted to see it over here, I could go right here to the base color, and I can see it here as well. Okay, great. Now, and let's take a look here. Okay, awesome. I'm just going to go back to UV editing and then come back to here sometimes. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I want to color this. I'm going to add some reds, some blues, and some yellows. Because if I don't, it's going to look like it's kind of more like just kind of a plastic doll. So if I come down here, I'm going to find a good kind of red. Okay, let's say if I like, let's say that red. And if I want to save it, I can come down here to Color Palette and click on New. And then the plus, and there I have the red saved. Then I'm going to find a blue that I want, maybe like that, and a yellow, maybe like, that. Okay, great. So I've got my colors that I want, and now on my paintbrush here, if I paint, okay, maybe I don't like that yellow, looks a little dirty. Let's see. Okay, so then I can take this one and just hit the minus. There we go. Now you can see that if I paint, it's really, you know, not much character on the stroke there, and I don't really have much choice on my brushes. So if I wanted to make it look like kind of a quote-unquote messier brush, what I'm going to do is come down here to my alphas. So if I go to mask, let me see here, stroke, no, texture. Okay, so in this area is where I want to kind of add some things here. So I want to add some alphas, and an example of some alphas can be found at this site here. This is pixelogic.com. This is ZBrush site. If I go to support, resources, then if I come down here, here's alphas. And if I look, I can see that this is what alphas look like. And you can see here skins, and there's a lot of them. So just kind of like a scaly brush or just kind of a messy brush. It's a good example of an alpha. So what I did is I downloaded several of these and put them into a folder. And I believe they came out as Photoshop files. So I opened them in Photoshop, saved them as a PNG, and then put them into a folder. And I can see right here, these are my alphas that I downloaded. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import these into Blender. And what you'll notice is if I come down, let's say to texture, and go here, I could click on new, and then I can just kind of import one at a time. Okay, and that's kind of annoying, especially if I have a lot of them. So what I need to do is I need to go into my preferences, so edit preferences. I'm going to type in brush, and you'll see something called import brush set. And if I click on that, now it'll allow me to go on to import, and brush set is down at the bottom here. And if I click on that, now I should be able to go to my alpha, and I can say import brush set. And now I should be able to click here, and you can see that all of them came in. Okay, so definitely a nice time saver there. And any place that they're available, so if I go here, you can see that they're also available right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and kind of I'm going to go to my texture mask. Okay, here's my texture mask. And I'm just going to kind of choose one of these, maybe something like this one here. And when I paint, I can see how it's a little bit more, quote unquote, interesting to look at. So I'm going to kind of find my, let's say my blues, and I want to paint really, really light. So I'm just going to kind of bring my strength down. And I want this to almost hardly be noticeable. I'm going to see if I have, there we go. Okay, I'm going to see if I have mirroring turned on, which I do. To do that, I want to make sure that symmetry is pressed on right there. And now I'm going to come in here with this, again, with kind of a dirty brush. Let's see, so I'm going to import that again. I think I undid, I actually undid the import. There we go. And I'm just going to kind of grab one of these, maybe this one. And I can see that my strength is really low. I'm just going to kind of go like this. Maybe grab a different brush. Press F to make it bigger. And then I'll also use kind of some reds in some areas and yellows. If I wanted to see this a little better, if I went to this one, I can see that. And I can see that it is pretty shiny now, and we'll kind of correct that in a second. But I feel like this is, we can start to see that we're getting some color on there. If I wanted to have it not shiny, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to add roughness. And 4096 by 4096, I'm going to say no roughness is going to be all the way white. And now if I looked at it like this, I can see kind of collectively what's happening. Okay, so I'm getting some color on there. And if I wanted to adjust the color, I need to make sure that I'm on color here. And now maybe I go into smear, and I kind of smear this. You know, I feel like I'm just kind of wanting the hint of the color. Maybe the hint of the yellow is here. Okay, so I can kind of use my smearing. And for the roughness is going to be kind of where it's shiny and where it's not shiny. On the roughness, I want to paint with color on there to really make it feel like it's some parts are shiny and some parts are not. So if I'm on there, I'm going to go into black, and this is going to make it kind of shiny in some areas but not in others. And again, I'm making it kind of with this dirtier brush here. And if I want to isolate that, I can kind of see here. I'm going to increase the strength. Okay, I'm just kind of going like that, and I feel like maybe, I don't know. Okay, and it might be kind of difficult to tell what's happening with this dirty brush here, but if I go like this, you can kind of start to see that we can get a little bit of adjustment in the specular. Which can make it kind of interesting. Now, obviously, I've got quite a bit of work to do on this, but maybe I want the lips to be shinier. Then I can just paint black on the lips, and I'll just kind of exaggerate that for now. So if I come in here, got black, and now if I paint, I want to make sure that I'm on roughness. Yep, I'm on roughness. And if I come here, I'm going to say, okay, strength. And maybe I'll switch out of this, maybe I'll just X out of that. And now I'm back to my normal. And okay, this is pretty extreme. But if I come here, I can see how the lips, again, look wet, okay, versus maybe the skin. Maybe I want it to be kind of wet around the eyes. I could do that as well. And this is obviously independent of color. Okay, this is just, I'm thinking about wetness or roughness. And again, if I wanted to change the color, I could come in here to color, and now I could color on there, whether that's smoothing or whatever I want. So just kind of some cool tricks about importing alphas, looking at some different channels, and really kind of doing some neat things as far as human skin.